I think it's time, Dad. Time for me. Finally. Time for me to talk to you again. But for what it's worth, I want you to know that this will be the last letter I send you out of my misery. I missed you. These 8 months, I really did. There were nights I wanted to write to you. Nights I felt like opening my heart again to you. There were days I wanted to visit you. I'm sorry I couldn't. This is not about you, Dad. This is not about me. This is about my happiness. Everything about her. I remember it was after meeting you I was going back home by the trail. The familiar rustle, that same dirt that tried to cling to my feet. My face dropping more than it always did as I saw the clear sun. The road was here, and so was everybody. The entire college. Fierce, angry, purposeful, looking like they all had somewhere to go. I fought the idea of going back, yet there was no other way. My steps had become slow, seized by fear. But I had to cross it somehow. I was walking back. That's all I wanted to do. I was looking where I looked. Tiles, steps, rocks, dirt, concrete, and then these again. In no time I was between them, these people. Part of the college again. I was starting to feel Manvi. We used to have the same table, DH. She asked me about an upcoming test. I told her. I helped her get her stuff up. She said I would do well. I nodded. I just wanted to go back. But then she asked me something I hadn't been asked in over a year. I froze. I did not know how to reply to that, so I asked it back. Yes, she said, giggling. Then she told me about this film club she was a part of, and they had a screening. She said she would be better if I come. I looked into her. A long time it felt. Okay, I said. Because perhaps that is all I've ever learned to say to people. I walked back home, thinking. I tried to study, still thinking if I should really go or not. But when the night crawled, under the dim lights, my eyes they gleamed bright. I could not understand why, but I felt like I could go. Either way, I knew I had to. Tomorrow came. Out of my confusing ambiguity, I found a lingering excitement. I washed my face. I wore something nice. Hell, I did not even leave my room door open. I got there. I remember standing outside that familiar, morbid room, feeling bare, like I was transparent, open to anyone who looked. It had already grabbed the door. There was no other way. Hi. A warm hand grabbed mine, and like a shattered dream, a smile came and went. In a comforting corner, she made me sit, and in no time, I saw the credits roll. And for the next 3 hours of my life, I fathomed about nothing but my despair. How it had swallowed me, all at once, yet still one day at a time. I could remember that. I loved films. We loved films, hundreds of them. Yet how could that one bullet in your head bleed my passion out? I forgot I had ever watched one. I was watching one now. And that was all that mattered. After it ended, I thought to look at her once before I went. But she came to me. That warmth enveloped me again. And the dream began. I nodded, sang, praised the movie, and said I'd see her tomorrow. I know why you cried. It's okay. That was what she left me with. Empathy. A wicked charm. I walked back home, back to room. Yet the first time did not feel there. I felt I was with her, wherever she was then. Before I slept, I caught the mirror. The guy who looked back, he smiled. And so it began. Tomorrow came, stepping away from those withered cadavers. I found an escape in her, a comforting escape. For a change, hearing a voice that didn't pinch, pair of eyes I could look back in. When she looked, I felt like bearing. I used to talk to her. I felt like I would never again, ever. I always felt nervousness, yet it subsided when her face shone. It was bright, and it fell on me. Everything felt like blooming. Around us and between us. The paths we traveled, the marks we left on wet monsoon dirt, they grew longer with each passing day. She grew more familiar. Yet every day I saw her, every day I felt she held in her something new. My terrified eyes that did not used to lift over rocks, pavement, dirt, they kept staring at her. I had finally trapped purpose in them. It was her. Some roads seemed long, so one day we rode. When we rode, time started feeling shorter. Different places, different days. It was like I was enacting a dream. Maybe living in one. I didn't forget about you, Dad. I saw you every day, smiling at me. But I could not write to you, because tears weren't trickling down my face anymore. And for one fleeting moment, life was not so hopeless. Maybe I should have remembered you. But maybe remembering you brought me this entire hurt in the first place. I remember the day I was sitting to eat food in the canteen. The place was now comfortable to me. We used to sit here and talk. Alone. Akshit, Bhuvin, and Roshit. I did not know them. I did not want to. Every hand I shook, it was breaking me from inside. They talked cricket that day, but I understood exclusivity. I understood that her life wasn't just limited to mine. Yet when she called them friends, I tried for that. And I remember how tightly her hand clenched mine to seize me in comfort. We walked that night under a sky that was inexplicably starry. I was a little nervous, and so was she. I held her hand firmly, yet with pride. I looked at her, so why wouldn't I? she had to go that night. Where? I don't remember. I was too filled with affection to notice. But I'm glad she did. I went back home. I felt complete. I cast myself in the mirror. I was still smiling. Yet now I could believe it was mine. The next few days, I saw their faces every day, and I learned to digest my fears better around them. Every time I felt like speaking, my throat still dried and my legs shook constantly. I wasn't needful of friendship, yet me being on that table made her slightly happier than it made me slightly happier. As this world goes, as bad things happen, I started feeling somewhere, somehow, good things happen too. There has to be a balance. In whatever unfair, cruel forms it comes in, there has to be a balance. But I also learned that these good things, they have a very, very heartbreaking tendency to end. She tried to hold my hand. She tried to hold my hand, thinking it would make it better. It didn't. It's unfair, wrong. This is why I don't close my and one day I had nothing again. I was as bare as they come, suffocated by regret. When I met her, it was summer. Everything glowed around me. When I got to know her, it was monsoon. So now that it ends here, what does that make this? Fall? The truth is, Dad, when you got posted in Kashmir and you got shot, they called you a martyr. Martyr Major de Mello, dead in combat. All this time, I called you a martyr. Yet I never believed it. I never put you a hero. I thought, how could I? After all this pain you put in my life. Yet, you were brave, Dad. And me, your son. I never realized what I'm made of. 'Cause I never fought my sadness. I kept thinking of you as the disease and of her as the cure, a blessing in disguise. Till there was no blessing left. She chose another love over mine. And you chose your duty. Greater purposes. I get it. It's not fair. But I'm done hating my life for it. This fall, it didn't come from her. It didn't come from you. It came from inside me. And that's how I'll fix it.